So with Siege X being just a month away, there is an addition Ubisoft are adding to Rainbow Six Siege, which is quite substantial in my opinion, and is part of a core gameplay design which hasn't really been touched ever since launch. And I am of course talking about environmental destruction. Now, a destructible environment is something which is a core aspect of Rainbow Six Siege. We all know that, I'm not gonna repeat everything you know. But there hasn't really been many additions to that over the years, other than I guess new soft and hard breachers, but that isn't an update to the environment, that's just new ways to manipulate it. Well, with Siege X, the game is changing, as we are now getting 3 new environmental items. I guess one of them is more of a reworked one, being the metal detectors, but after 10 years, Ubisoft are doubling down even more on a destructible environment, and this is just the beginning it seems. So if you're not aware, Siege X is introducing fire extinguishers on all maps. These will be added with the modernization of maps. Currently there will be 5 at the launch of Siege X, which is year 10 season 2, and these will be pre-placed existing objects on the maps, and when you shoot them, they explode into a little smoke bomb which lasts a few seconds. Stand too close to it when it explodes, it will give you a small concussion effect as well due to it exploding. This can be used for and against both attackers and defenders, as well as the other 2 items as well, with the next being gas pipes. Now this uses the element of fire. Shooting these gas pipes will cause a stream of fire to come out of that specific part you shot, depending on the angle and height you shot it at. It's actually quite impressive that way. And eventually these will explode and cause fire to go around its area, and this can of course be fast tracked as well by shooting it more or using an explosive on it. And then the third environmental item, which is somewhat a rework of an already existing one, are metal detectors. Now metal detectors have already existed on many maps such as Border and Bank, but there wasn't really any depth to them. Pretty much if any attacker or defender walked through them, they would just beep. And now they've sort of streamlined this and updated it, and once again, if any attacker and defender walk through them, they will beep. They can now either be disabled temporarily with EMPs, again from both sides, whether that's Thatcher, Impact EMP, or an EMP on a bulletproof camera, or they can be completely destroyed using explosives. And I want to remind people, because I've seen a lot of confusion here, no side owns these items, they're just a part of the map, the same way a wall and floor is part of a map, and it can benefit and affect both sides. These aren't just going to benefit the defense, for example. But something all 3 of these items have in common is that they are utilizing already existing elements and aspects of Siege which the players know. The fire extinguisher is using concussion and smoke, already existing thing. The gas pipe is using fire, another already existing system. And of course, the metal detectors are a proximity-based alarm. All 3 of these can already be attributed to other gadgets in the game, so when it comes to their core system and design, it fits into Rainbow Six Siege, but it's also quite easy for the players to understand them, since all of these aspects already exist within the parameters of Siege's gameplay. But what I find the most interesting about these new environmental gadgets is the fact that it definitely opens the door for more to come in the future. And I hope they eventually start messing around with some ideas which may be out of the standard aspect of already existing Siege gadgets. Like I'm saying, the fire extinguisher is basically a smoke grenade. What if we start to implement new environmental gadgets which has an effect which has never been seen before? And I want to pose that question to you. What would you like to see Ubisoft add to Rainbow Six Siege as a new environmental item, like the ones we are getting? I would love to see something to do with lighting and indoor lights maybe be managed in a way like that, so we can actually start to get some proper night vision operators, and maybe even a remaster to 0 where you can actually use the goggles and get that proper Splinter Cell feel. Or something that could be quite cool would be a sprinkler system. If you remember Bank, the basement used to have a bunch of sprinklers on and you could hardly hear anything because of that. Well, what if we introduce some sprinklers on maps that when shot not only start to produce water that could then counter Capitao, Tachanka, these gas pipes, and Goyo, but it would also make some noise as well, so it could be used to mask what you're doing because of the sprinkler noises. It's little ideas like that that Ubisoft have opened the door for now, and I'm really excited to see what they could potentially do in the future. Maybe these are just the 3 things we're going to get now, and they probably won't double down on it, but I have a feeling that they will. This has pretty much opened the door for more creativity when it comes to map design and new elements for the maps, and I can't see them stopping here. Even in a same aspect as well as the sprinklers, maybe you could just have some alarms that when shot start emitting a noise, and then once again you could use that to mask sound. If you want to go for a plant, for example, you push into sight, shoot one of the alarms in the wall, it starts to make a blaring noise, and then you go for a plant and it covers the sound. You could even have like pressure valves and pipes as well, similar to the gas one, but instead of gas coming out of it, it is more of a massive pressurized explosion, giving the same effect as an air jab would. So if either attackers or defenders walk in its radius, it gets exploded, they get knocked on their back. This is what I mean when I say that there is so much stuff they can do with this new system now that I would truly be surprised if they do stop with the fire extinguishers, gas pipes, and metal detectors. I can't remember who I saw say this, but like they were even saying like minor items such as like the vending machines on maps, even if you shoot them making a noise would be good for like a distraction as well. So even just updating smaller elements around maps such as them would go really far. Now, of course, an important thing with these new environmental aspects is that they fit the theming of the maps. You don't want these things to stick out like a sore thumb, although they may be practical. You don't want to ruin the entire aesthetic of the map itself. And I will say for the most part, it seems like they do blend in pretty well. There is some locations on maps, of course, I'm gonna withhold judgment now because I've not played every modernized map yet. I've only really played Clubhouse. I've only really seen glimpses of the other maps so far. But something I would maybe like to see with the gas pipes is maybe breaking in a wall a little bit and actually putting them inside of a wall, meaning that not only can you only shoot some of them from looking directly at them, so that would be quite good maybe if it's in a high traffic area and you want to only be able to allow it to be shot from certain angles just by like breaking the wall, then putting the gas pipe inside of it rather than it being on the outside of the wall. I just feel like maybe sometimes it would fit that theme a little bit better rather than just having a large exposed gas pipe going through a map. That being said though, that's a very small critique and I do truly like what they have done and I do think they fit in very well. I will say probably the most restrictive one here will be the metal detectors because I feel like you really have to have them fit the theme of the map for them to look natural. So if you maybe try and like shoehorn in some metal detectors on maps where it just doesn't fit, it will look weird. I don't know if they've even added new metal detectors. Again, we're just gonna have to wait and see for CJX next month. I know that they've updated the already existing ones, like the ones on Bank, like the ones on Border, for example. And of course, they have them on the dual front map as well, which is called District. But I don't know if they've started to add them to other maps as well. We're going to have to wait and see how they do it there. But if they have added it to already existing maps and have added metal detectors, hopefully they look natural in their placement and theming. But yeah, the environmental items is just one of the many things which Ubisoft have looked at and improved going into CJX. I cannot wait to see what other ones they come up with. So I want to extend the question to you guys and maybe we'll answer the questions in a Siege mailbox. What other environmental items would you like to see come in Siege X? I've already listed a few in this video, but I want to hear what you guys have. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Sub if you're new. Catch you on the next video. We will be having hopefully some Siege X content very soon as well. Some year 10 season 2 stuff hopefully. Since we are not far off the year 10 roadmap as well as learning about year 10 season 2 etc. So hopefully we'll be getting some new teasers and stuff soon. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.